This is why wrestling sucks.
You a dumb, me tell you.
You a moron. I's right.
Just shut the funk up, baby, and let's have some fun.
Bienvenidos a Dios hace cosas hermosas, reparto, el luchador grasa Lucas Walker, además, el hombre peludo de Folk, Funkmaster V. Las mujeres tienen relaciones sexuales, debido a la realización que viene de estos cerebros.
Hey Funketeers, this is Funkmaster V. Luke and I decided this week we were going to do a 15-minute segment about Roddy Piper, and since we recorded our show at a weird time when Dusty passed, we never really talked about Dusty. So we were going to do a 15-minute homage to two of the icons in the sport. However, we can't keep anything short. So we've also decided to bring Barry Allen on, who I didn't know at the time was developing a friendship with Roddy Piper, and it got pretty emotional, and this thing turned into an entire podcast. Uh, Not as funny as normal, probably, but I will tell you this. Barry Allen and Roddy Piper were developing a business venture that quite literally was the shits. You gotta hear it to believe it.
All right. Well, this is God Makes Beautiful Things with a very special episode. I think Timmy's dog died. No. We just kind of, me and Vinny started talking, me and Funkmaster there started talking. And as soon as we heard about Roddy Piper, and that brought up memories of Dusty, and we started talking for about 5 minutes. And I was like, wait, we should really pay tribute to this. And there's one other guy we know that loved Hot Rod and Dusty as much as we do. So we got in touch with the only other show guest we've ever had, Barry Allen. Barry Allen, how you doing?
The only other guy the only other guy that we've ever trusted to have on the show, by the way.
I gotta be honest. I'm not very happy today. But that's.
Well, of all of us, you probably knew him. You probably knew Hot Rod from your conventions and stuff. Probably better than I've only met him at 2 or 3 wrestling shows over the course of 20 years.
I've never met him.
Yeah. The thing is, like, we were keeping it on the DL till we could make an announcement, but my business partner is the guy that came up with the toilet Sarlacc, and Roddy's manager, his name's Bill. He's a huge Star Wars nut, and a couple months ago, I took one of the Sarlaccs over and just gave it to him, just because Bill's always been like super
I know what
cool.
you're talking about there, but to tell everybody that's listening, we've now God Makes Beautiful Things has 3,000. Tell them what a toilet Sarlacc is.
Ray will be very happy with this because he always likes plugs on podcasts and whatnot. The toilet Sarlacc, it's a set of stickers that goes inside of your toilet, and it looks like the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi.
This is the best idea ever.
You've never seen that online?
No.
Have you not seen it, Luke?
No, I haven't, and
Well,
I have to now.
I'll have to. I'll send you a link, and I'll see if I can get you one. But yeah, like we've done that one. It was the stupidest thing I've ever done. Ray came to me with it and said, "Man, we've got this deal. I think it's going to be great. We should do something with it." And I just looked at him like he was growing a third head, and I was like, "Are you retarded? That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life." And I didn't get on board with it, so I missed out on all the money that came along with it.
All $20.
I since said, "Oh no! It's made a lot of money."
Oh damn! And I've never heard of this.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's made ridiculous money. But since then we've done some for like some different restaurants. They've done their own original designs, and we just released the Jaws set. But anyway, back to like earlier this year, I took Bill a Sarlacc over to him because he's a huge Star Wars guy, and he just looked at it and was like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life." And he was so happy with it, and then he said, "Wait, can we do one for Piper?" And I mean, like literally, like that, like the 8-year-old version of me that's like still floating around in me somewhere.
Now, wait a minute. What do they want? A version with Mr. T floating around the toilet, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess like we're not gonna do it now. I mean, I wouldn't think.
Was it like
Uh,
it wasn't the Sarlacc then? It was like his opponents that he'd beaten over the
yeah,
years.
basically the idea. Basically, the idea was you got a big giant Roddy Piper sticker, and it would go on your seat, and
Jesus Christ!
he's like chunking, different wrestlers that he feuded with, like their little like nuggets. And at the bottom, like around the toilet hole, like would be a little wrestling ring. So
Gee,
like over the
weird.
last 6 months, I've probably met with Roddy. I don't know. I mean, a handful of times. Probably about once a month, really. I think we met to kind of discuss the idea in March, and then it was like, okay, here's what we're thinking. We brainstormed a little bit. We did that meeting in April, and then like, we came up with some finalized ideas before we started the art in May, and then last month, the start of June, we took him the sketches and all that stuff for them. And I don't honestly know how far along they are. I think that the actual Piper graphic is done, and I think like the Mr. T and the Hulk Hogan and maybe the Ric Flair are done.
You gonna shit on me,
I
fool?
Yeah, but like when we took him the art, we took him the art at a show in Knoxville um, last month, and we were showing him everything, and he looked one and just stopped and was just like, "Why is there a giant frog?" And Ray, in all of his infinite wisdom, decided to put a giant frog from Hell Comes to Frogtown. And Ray said, I think that like somebody out there has got to like Hell Comes to Frogtown. And
Somewhere.
Piper goes, "Have you seen that movie?" And we're both like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you're the two guys that bought the tickets to see it. Okay, now I know. Now I've always wondered who bought the tickets to see that movie. Now I know." So he got a really good kick out of that. Like, yeah,
Mm.
he said that he wished like he could have like took that one back and all that. He was making fun of it, and he was in super good spirits. And, we had like the glasses from They Live, and coconuts for Jimmy Snuka and all that. He was just like so totally tickled pink with it. But
Well,
man, I just I
well, we were.
literally was talking to Bill like earlier today
Really?
about the somebody from TMZ caught Piper coming out of somewhere last Friday and was asking about Hogan. And that video just popped up like yesterday, I think. But if you like look in the background, you'll see my friend Bill. Um, and he is just like the best background troll ever.
Well,
Like
now
he's
the
walking around and he's like, playing with the dirt and like he, looks around Piper's shoulders. I mean, it's like the best trolling of a TMZ video you've ever seen. And
well,
we were talking about that like earlier today, probably. I guess probably around like 1 or 2 o'clock today, maybe. Um,
the last thing I had with Roddy Piper, and this isn't a personal thing because I don't want to go it, but um, was just like a couple days ago, I saw that the Kayfabe News put on a thing where they put a picture of the Roddy Piper with a half black face, and it said that half of Roddy Piper is offended by Hulk Hogan's
yeah,
remarks.
yeah, it's great. It's great.
Now, I also preface all this by saying that yes, we're going to laugh because that's mostly how grown men handle when their childhood gets stabbed and
It's been
is
a it's been a rough few months, man. I mean, like
well,
if you took Funkmaster V, and I tell people who are getting in the sport, take your influences from outside, but my wrestling influences outside of funk music or whatever, movies or religion or anything else, my wrestling influences are Flair, number one, and then Dusty and Piper are tied for second. I enjoyed them three more than anybody else in the history of wrestling. And it's really tough, especially when they're so young. It's not like the 90 and the hobbling, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
God. It's, I mean,
they're both hovering around that 60 mark.
in
Yeah,
60s, only 20 years away from me. So, I mean, it's kind of like, ouch. All right. Well, that was beautiful, and we had. I wondered why you had the phone like that, but anyway, we were on the phone with Barry, and we were just rocking and rolling. And the interview got to a point to where Barry got pretty emotional, and
It's still real to him, damn it.
yeah, and it was actually a good interview. Anytime you get a guest to cry, you get a Barbara Walters award nomination.
We get one guest in the history of our podcast, and we made him cry.
Well, he was, he's upset about Roddy Piper, and so we had a 40-something minute conversation, and then the computer just ditched. For some reason, only recorded like 10 minutes of it, so I'm still confused by what happened, but here we are. Now, it's been a couple of days since Roddy passed. It still stinks. It's been a couple weeks since Dusty Rhodes has passed. But we decided, instead of trying to call Barry up and recreate, I don't know, some sad stories, we were very fortunate. We got the toilet Sarlacc story out of that.
You're always fortunate when you get the toilet Sarlacc.
I mean, just the fact that term exists in the world is a beautiful thing. But we decided to kick it up.
Yeah,
with some comedy and some stuff. There's a lot of drama happening in East Tennessee wrestling right now. A lot of people declaring war. A lot of people
that's the shoot.
Trying to hurt other people's businesses because nobody in this damn area is professional. Everybody's pretty unprofessional and stupid. But,
well, to put it over, this is the first time we've actually sat next to each other doing a podcast, and I have to fart.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've been with you all day, and you haven't farted once.
It's the Eros. It's the Eros, man.
Anyway, they're called Euros, by the way.
Eros. Nero's Eros.
Okay,
downtown
so
Knoxville.
I don't know how long this is going to last today, but we'll pick it up with the Harley Davidsons driving by. I was telling you a story in the car. This is basically from here on out. We're just going to try to make everybody laugh. Okay.
We immediately made him stop telling this story.
Yeah. You said wait for the podcast. And I said okay. So around the 90s, before everybody who sucks in wrestling destroyed the wrestling industry, everybody loved the WWE, the Stone Cold, the Rock, the Attitude Era.
You could be cool walking down the street with an Austin 316 shirt or
WCW, Goldberg, anything like that.
I even had a little rock doll that you could throw at the wall and would say, "No, you're old, jabroni."
What'd you do with that?
I think I threw it at my ex-wife.
Anyway, so I have an acquaintance who told me this story, and I thought it was hilarious, and I'm going to share it with you just for the sake to cheer us all up, because it has been a rough couple of weeks as far as losing all these favorite people. But this was back in the era when people would draw no matter what. You could have just terrible guys, jeans, t-shirts, cut off sleeves. You would have 300, 500 people showing up to Jasper, Mississippi, and Decatur, Alabama.
Penis, Tennessee.
So this guy, who is a friend of a friend, is some sort of writer, or some sort of he keeps dirt sheets or something. He does something where he writes about pro wrestling. It's mainly a love thing, and this is not my story, so I'm not going to claim it, but you'll love it. So anyway, he said he was somewhere in the middle of Mississippi, and this
it's a fun place to be.
Yeah, it's awful. Anyway, unless you're gambling or having sex. But anyway, so he shows up at a show early, and he's in the back of the locker room, and he said this guy comes in, and he's wearing black blue jeans with a belt, and he's got a black t-shirt with no sleeves, and he doesn't really have muscle definition, and he has this big mullet.
So me.
Say what?
So basically me.
No. The guy has a deer in headlights look, too. You've got that twinkle in your eye. So, you don't go sleeveless.
This shirt doesn't have sleeves on it?
No. But yeah, but you're wearing something over it. So he says he comes in with a plastic bag, and inside the plastic bag is his gear. So he sits down and he takes off his black sleeveless t-shirt, folds it, reaches in the white plastic bag and pulls out a black sleeveless t-shirt and puts that on. Now he's in his gear. It's the same exact article of clothing. One's for dancing and hooping and hollering. The other one is for whatever. So anyway,
You played on a show with a band called Axiom.
stop. Don't disrespect or don't distract from it. So, but you see whose name's at the top.
Oh yeah,
Okay. All right. So anyway, so he's over there fiddling with that, and the guy's just kind of smirking at the guy. And the gentleman in the black sleeveless T-shirt walks up, and he goes over and he goes, "Hey man, I know you've been doing all this writing and stuff." And he goes, "I need some help with a character." He goes, "I know I've got the look with this gigantic mullet in 1999 and all this stuff." And he goes, "But I need some sort of angle, like everybody's got a good catchphrase. I need something that's a good catchphrase, like Stone Cold, don't know, bottom line, and 316, and the Rocks, know your role." He goes, "I got to come up with something like that." And the guy goes, with tongue in cheek, goes, "Oh, I got it for you, buddy." He goes, "Have you ever played the game Mortal Kombat?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I played that." He goes, when you're about to kill somebody and it says finish him, and if you do the move right, it goes fatality.
Fatality.
He said, since you call yourself the Beast, and you want this animalistic type thing, he goes, "How about you do this? Instead of fatality, scream out bestiality." And the guy goes, "I like that. I like it a lot." So this guy, and he goes, "Just yell it out the crowd, random time, scream it out, before you do a big move, whatever.
Bestiality!
Yeah. The guy goes, "I love it." So he goes out, and at the time, like we said, this was the time where wrestling shows drew no matter who was on them and how bad the talent was. A huge crowd. He hits the curtain, looks out at the crowd, and goes, "Who's ready for some bestiality?" So you've got the college sect laughing. You've got the farmers cheering. And then you've got like the religious people who brings their kids, the family show people going, and like doing earmuffs on the kids. So the match continues.
Oh, and here, let me break a train of thought here because like AJ Gann listens to this. Bestiality is having carnal knowledge. Well, I guess that's even worse. Fucking a dog or an animal.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's for some of you guys out there. Thanks for that,
Donald Dixon.
Because somebody else would have probably been like, "That does sound pretty good." I guess
that's bestiality. That's
bestiality. That's 16 years ago. I bet nobody's doing that anymore. But anyway, so. The match continues, and there's a position where the guy's on all fours.
Nuh-uh.
Not the bestiality guy. The opponent is on all fours.
This is where I'm losing it. I don't think you.
So he looks around, and he's about to apply his patented death move of some sort, and he goes, "Who's ready for some bestiality?" And at that point, everybody's like, "Is this guy going to start screwing this other guy who's bent down like a sheep at this point?"
Squeal for me now. Woo!
Needless to say, thank God that didn't happen, even though we were in Mississippi or Kentucky or Alabama or somewhere. So anyway, the match ends, and the guy comes back, and he's got just these sparkle in his eyes. And the guy, the friend of a friend, is kind of giggling. And he's like, "Dude, that was awesome." He goes, "That was over, man. People."
Of course,
he goes, "Man, people
play it.
Man, people were going crazy for that." He goes, "I love it. Thank you so much." And the guy was like, "Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, you're welcome." So it was one of those times too back then that people had these shows had weekly shows and stuff. So the next week, same situation.
Nobody stopped him.
The guy walks in, instead of one little bag of a sleeveless T-shirt that's his gear that he was going to change into, his exact same thing he's wearing, he had another bag full of custom T-shirts. And he's back there grumpy, like moving around. And so my friend of a friend went up to him and said, "Hey, man, what's wrong?" He goes, "You're grumpy. You got some T-shirts." And he goes, "Yeah, but they don't say what I wanted them to say." He goes, "Well, what did you want them to say?" He said, "I wanted them to say bestiality, but the guy refused to print it. Instead, he just made some that said beastie."
And he's pissed. And he goes, I don't know why he didn't put bestiality. He could have used a smaller font. Of course, he didn't know the word font. He
Yeah,
probably said, you probably could make the word smaller.
It could be some of them smaller letters.
Over the next several weeks, the guy's following grew. People started chanting bestiality.
Bestiality is over.
Yeah, bestiality, bestiality. And he's like, yeah, I found it. Well, some Weisenheimer, some college-educated fucking Yankee from Ohio, I'm sure, some promoter
Or Louisville.
said, you're not going out there saying bestiality. And the guy's like, why not? That's my whole gimmick. He goes, because bestiality is when you screw an animal. And the blood drained from his face. And he comes back and he tells my friend of a friend, not cool, man. Not cool.
And that's the day I saw the real Funkmaster V.
Yeah. And so that was the end of the bestiality run that should have been on WWE.
Yeah.
It never
Should have
happened.
still been going. Hey, did you see that AJ Gann and Chris Pankow are retiring from wrestling?
Well, I'm excited. It's
Again?
the rest of the month of August and probably the beginning of September will be a nice little break, and then they'll somebody will remember. Oh, I got passion for the business.
I got a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, said AJ Gann, I mean, I guess after receiving that prestigious SWS Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh yeah, that part of the show got
Is
deleted.
gone.
Yeah.
We'll put up some pictures here, I think. But dude gives himself an award, and then he's like arguing with himself and giving himself encouragement from. It's just you almost have to see the pictures, but he's like, "This is not AJ Gann. I didn't put this up," and then it's written as the website. This is not
Right.
And it just, I mean, that guy is such a complete jabron.
Well, somebody accused me today of playing devil's advocate. I can understand if you would do that if you're trying to push an angle. Facebook is real. A lot of people hate anything you do on to promote wrestling on Facebook. I think it's stupid if you don't, because there's thousands and thousands of people that see your posts. It's stupid not to use Facebook, in my opinion. Now, it is stupid if you're best friends with a guy that you're having an angle with, and you're sharing pictures of your
Or
daughters.
doing a
with them.
podcast together.
Yeah. But anyway, but I mean, but he's not that smart. He thought, he was, in fact, I know for a fact it was AJ Gann doing that, even though he came out and just vehemently denied it because
He vehemently denied that it was him behind the page from the logged in as the page.
yes,
That's
if that makes sense. But anyway, I know he was looking. Anyway, it doesn't.
well, I mean, people like I said before, and it's first of all, he said he's going to retire, but he's got one more match for the fans. Which how come every asshole that wrestles in front of 5 people does it for the fans? If you did it for the fans, you would actually stay retired. But we also got it's just that you cannot write the comedy that these people provide for us for free. I mean that they unwittingly do. Like let's say finally it's time, guys.
Oh, really?
It is time. We're after teasing this for 6 months.
Okay, well, let me just set this up. Because I think of this podcast and the fact that we were actually trained and we've been in the business, we did that show in Newport, and people have been accusing us of being bullies and
Somebody from the front row showed up at my house after I hit that clothesline, and they swore it was last Thursday. So,
yeah. Do they know the gimmick on that? Do they know the joke?
yeah, we told that.
Oh, the space-time continuum.
Yeah, space-time continuum for my clothesline.
But people have thought that we are bullies because I don't know, we were trained and we have gear and know how to entertain a crowd. We're not bullies. We want to share this information with everybody, and that's what a lot of what we do. Luke's involved with trash bag wrestling, and we've said that before. I do not like trash bag wrestling, but I do like having a forum where you expose idiots, the really, really bad.
Yeah, idiots.
Because they need to see that it's not jealousy. It's not the fact that we're jealous of them. It's not the fact that we're trying to be bullies. It's not the fact that anything except we're trying to save some of the sport. Now, me and Luke have both said we're a couple of Yankee goofball assholes. We are not saying that we're some sort of local legend. We're not saying anybody needs to listen to us. But we do have access to the internet, and we can expose whatever the hell we want to expose. And if I think you need to get out of the sport and there's nothing salvageable, because me and Luke both try to help people, because there's not a lot of good wrestlers.
No, not at all. We're sitting there racking our brains today in a production meeting at a television studio, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And now I'm not talking about UPN backwood butt nut only saw it by 10,000 people. We're talking Fox TV. And we're trying to think, all right, we need a good baby face.
We need somebody that can talk.
We need somebody that can talk. Anybody got any ideas?
Yeah.
No?
So
No, you had a week to think about this. Anyone?
Yeah, looking at the floor and clicking your pen is not going to help anybody. But, so, we're saying all this to say is we're trying, and we even said this today over lunch, we're trying to figure out who is going to replace our generation of guys. You hear Wayne Adkins is thinking about hanging it up. Shane Daniels is thinking about hanging it up. Me, you, and Jason Max are thinking about hanging it up. And I'm not saying it's like, oh my God, what are they going to do with this? There's been a vacuum now. What's going to happen when there's more of a vacuum?
Yeah, when us guys that are a little past our prime are gone.
Exactly. Yeah. So we hope, we're doing this for people, and we hope that people who are listening to this, realize I've got to pick my game up. I just can't go out there and jerk around and do a couple of cool moves and go, come on! And if you're the heel, you go,
shut up, fans!
So anyway...
or you have a Russian accent, or playing a Russian character with a Kentucky accent. That's...
Hey, we can't do that already.
Oh.
But anyway...
Nobody's my comments.
Hey, do not bury us yet, my friend. We are coming. Pile drivers for the people. So, okay, all that to say, me and Luke are trying not to be assholes, but we're assholes. Sue us. We love you, but if you suck, and we think you suck, get out of the freaking sport. Okay, so set it up. It's been weeks in the making.
Weeks in the making. The asses have been tickled with feathers.
Yeah. Gross.
The Night Walker. The Night Walker. He comes. This is Alex Hardy, Alex McMahon. Let's see. Started off as Alex McMahon. He did the worst wrestling match in Tennessee history until the Age of Gann one happened. He's the one that, he did a swanton bomb that was just the worst thing I've ever seen. The match is on my YouTube page, Luke Walker on YouTube.
What's it called?
I think it's the Death of Tennessee Wrestling Part 3 or Part 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was different parts of the handicap show.
No. It's one of the. It's like Death of Tennessee Racing Part 2, Luke Walker, and that he goes on, defends himself and says, "You're just jealous because I could do a swanton," and that was hey Julie,
my lovely wife is here,
and so the guy shouldn't be anywhere in the business, shouldn't be anywhere wrestling. Hopefully he can learn. And we think, you think after 6 months later, maybe he's learned a little bit. Maybe he's smartened up. Maybe he's known how to protect his character and protect his gimmick a little bit more. Because, he calls himself the Night Walker, which is slang for a prostitute.
And this is the thing too. It's like, okay, you did this thing a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and everybody, I loved it. Everybody in East Tennessee jumped on it. Where we were making fun of this guy named Boa, who had the worst wrestling match we ever saw.
Oh, horrible!
And everybody came on and started making promos as Boa with a piece of bread under sunglasses,
cheese on their head.
Soap on their face, a T-shirt over their head.
Shane Daniels was taking a dump and wore
underwear. Shane Daniels was cutting a promo while he was taking a dump.
These are also on my YouTube page.
And this kid, instead of being like, "You're jealous, leave me alone, I'm good, you're bad," he goes, "Do you have heat with me?" And you were like, "No."
No.
And then he was like, and then you proceeded to...
Yeah, he goes, okay, good, because these things are damn hilarious.
Yeah.
And he had a good attitude about it, and I ended up getting him a booking too.
That's all we're looking for. And you don't have to come to us. Go to somebody that you trust.
Listen to this. Listen to this again. He ended up being cool and took the ribbing like a man, and I got a booking for him at the highest paid wrestling show in Tennessee.
Well, at least in our neck of the woods that we know.
Nobody else is going to pay you $100 to.
Okay.
Hey,
fade that. Anyway, so we got this set up here, and what we're going to do, we're going to play a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to go into probably One of the most convoluted, hard to follow, very almost impossible to read wrestling promos devoid of human beings on the screen.
But what we have to do is we have to explain this to you because, it's better visually, but to make it up for just being audio on onegimmickworld.com and the offshoots, we're going to read it for you as fast as we can. We're going to read it as quick as we can by going through the thing, and then we'll come back to it and slow it down and actually read the actual story. And, okay.
And if you go to the YouTube, you can watch it all in its full splendor.
Yeah, what did I name it? The Story of the Night Walker. Oh yeah, you can watch us. Yeah, you watch the show. God Makes Beautiful Things. We love you on Funkmaster V. His YouTube channel.
Oh.
Dayman, fighter of the night man, champion of the sun, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Dayman, fighter of the night man, champion of the sun, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone.
Okay, that was the intro. I just wanted to reiterate that was not the promo, or that would have been awesome. So here's the promo now.
Okay, are we going to be able to watch it while we talk here?
Oh yeah, it's technology.
Fantastic! I love technology. The Story of the Nightwalker. Okay, it's coming at you nice and...
You got that one.
Okay. This is the story of the Nightwalker.
Now it's just black.
Okay, it started at high school when there was me. Yeah, that's right. The one weird and nerd kid damn, it's gone. All right, now there's a picture of a school there. All right, you ready? You get the next line.
On this day, some bullies was picking on some of the small kids, possessive ass.
I'm going. I walked through a train yard. And I can't read over the white. Down the next block in there, can't read over the white car by itself. It's gone. Man, this sucks. Just goes.
The bullies came towards me on their bikes, and the bullies started to beat me up. I got that one in there.
Possessive bikes. I like it.
The story.
When the night came in and I was upstairs in my bedroom and was getting ready to lay down to sleep when a mysterious black shadow figure... man,
missed it.
I can't even... I'm close to getting that. That's not even half of the paragraph. That's how awful this is.
But look at all this blank space where there's nothing.
Well, at least they're repeating the same pictures
The next day at school, I was sitting in front of the class, and the bullies were sitting in the back of the room.
Oh, you're gone. Done.
Out of here.
Out of here. All right. Let's see. It's my turn. I'm up. When I got out of school, I went through the train yard again and saw the boxcar again. I stoped and rested. I guess I got to read it literal.
While I was restrung up and getting some air in my lungs, I looked up and...
The bullies, I can't read over the white, beat me up, and there were fists.
Possessive fists.
Possessive fists.
That was a big paragraph, and we didn't even get...
Wow.
One sentence. While the bullies laughed at me, that's a human centipede photo. While the bullies laughed, there we go. It's over.
These are full 5-sentence paragraphs without a period. The black and mysterious figure helped me down off the cross while I was barely walked. The black and mysterious figure was death.
Oh, you got pretty good.
I got a third through that one.
When we got to his world, he said to me, "Welcome to my world of the dead." I let...
It's gone.
What is that shit?
It's from the extra. Death opened the gates of this world, and we walked through it's called cemetery.
The cross necklace that Death had given me on his own had started to light up.
This is solid gold.
What is this shit?
It's Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah,
really. Death showed me that I look like in the mirror and said, "This is what the real you looks like, the creature of the night." And his...
No. We were getting close to something.
Man. This is...
We're now listening to Megadeth, I think. Death Aslo said you will meet a lady called Wrestlingmama.
Wrestlingmama.
Forget about Wrestlingmama.
Forget about it. I shook my head into Death and said, "Yes, I will work my hardest and become a sponge and soak in the information that is given and not."
Yeah, he'll be a sponge, all right.
He'll be a sponge when I sop him in the head.
When I woke up, I looked at the cross that Death had given me from his home with a quotation mark just there.
Just hanging out. Hey, we actually made it through that one.
Yep, now we're looking at...
So I got home and to my mom and said it was the walk to home today. I answered back to her with a quotation mark again. That didn't...
Quotation marks all over the place.
I mean, no, it's gone.
Oh, this is The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
We could be reading.
It turned night.
It turned nighttime, and I woke and saw the bullies picking up the men. And bullies, the small brothers.
When I got home and outside, I standed in front of the little brothers.
See, he got
He standing in front of the little brothers.
He even got. The bullies jumped back and was determined not to be scared of the creature that dwells. What the hell inside of me? See, he's getting tired of writing this bullshit. He didn't even spell check the last.
I actually can't wait to
What
see.
in the heck is that?
I don't know. It's some little ashen kid with a pie on his head.
With nipples.
Is this the story of the Deathwalker? Is it done? Nightwalker?
Where are the children?
The funny thing is we're trying to read it, and that's how fast it
Are
went.
these the little brothers? And what is that thing?
That's Leroy Jenkins, man. Then I snaped my fingers again and summoned some dark shadow souls.
Souls what? It was possessive.
Possessive souls.
He's being possessed. That's why he's using the possessive form.
Yes, possessive form of souls.
He's being possessed by wrestling mamas.
God, you know what's going to be great is actually reading what these...
You know, I've never read what really happened.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have enough time. This is a lot of information.
Oh, we've got time. Then I pointed at the bullies and ordered them to attack the bully. I pointed at the bullies and ordered them to attack the bullies?
And then told...
Oh, this is going to be... I can't wait to
This
see
guy's
this.
choke slamming an invisible person. I said, okay, what shall it be, Wrestling Mama? And she said...
Wrestling Mama! What shall it be, Wrestling Mama?
Wrestling Mama doesn't fit. It should have been a young priest or an old priest.
But Wrestling Mama's a real person.
Oh, I know. We're about to get into that, too.
And there's the cross and the gates.
This would have been great to put some words over all this.
You know, and maybe actually had the words last long enough that you could read the entire paragraph.
Okay, now we're just sorting through.
Just sorting
random...
images, so we know we can end it unless there's any more words. At the end, it'll be, yeah, we're done.
There'll be a quotation mark just sitting there. Okay, we gotta wait till it's done the way we're shooting this. Human centipede again.
Dude's getting buttholed. Oh, and there's the
train car.
The train car
of death.
This is just absolutely.
Oh, the school. We're getting less and less scary. I guess it's a good ending. Told by the Nightwalker.
Yay! But
or somebody with an education could have
no credit to Wrestling Mama.
No, it was just told by the Nightwalker.
Now I hate to do this to you guys, but we're going to do this again.
Tell you what, let's do something real quick. Let's take a 5-second break. I'm going to put something else up here that you guys will enjoy, and we'll get a little backstory on one of these characters.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to put up the image we want you to see here in a second. But this is East Tennessee wrestling. As good as some of these guys are, like Menace, Wayne Adkins, as
Travis Sawyer, and
you
Shane
go down
Daniels.
The list of this generation's guys, you have this to contend with as well. All right, we're going to put the image up now, and there it is.
Please, or from Wrestling Mama.
Okay, on the YouTube channel, we've got this up where you can read it. This is from Wrestling Mama Holloway.
Yes.
A character that was just in the Nightwalker.
It was the Nightwalker story.
Just a random
everyday Facebook quote that might come out. Please pray for me. I'm bleeding, period. Capital and don't Y from my rectum. In worried, wrote bound.
In worried.
Wrote bound. There might be some deeply philosophical stuff there that we're missing.
What does that mean to you?
I don't know.
And then we've got prayers praying.
Yeah, prayers praying for your bleeding rectum. I mean, I think everybody is in worried, and they wrote bound.
What is wrote bound?
I don't.
Is she bound? Is her intestines bound up?
Well, I mean,
did she write somebody named Bound?
This is the woman that has discovered the Nightwalker.
Well, she's obviously traumatized.
Actually, she has a huge part in the Nightwalker story that we could not even get to.
Can't even read it.
Because you couldn't read it.
She's in there doing something.
He then met a woman named Wrestling Mama that...
Yeah.
Where'd it go? I don't know.
We were going to read it for you, but we've kind of decided...
We'll let you, if you want to watch it, the video on Funkmaster V's YouTube channel, or mine, Luke Walker, and pause it yourself.
Yeah, you can pause that shit yourself.
We're going to save that for you and your friends. And every time that something is written as a possessive... Drink.
Yeah, it's a huge drinking game now.
And hey, Vito, leave me alone, man. We're recording the podcast. Good Lord, you're gonna message me every 3 seconds? Yeah. I can't live without Big Luke and Funkmaster V.
We're a day late. Do us.
Love you, Vito. Oh.
Well, we've had some laughs. I don't know. Anything else you want to touch on? I mean, we got Wrestlingmama's bleeding rectum on our screen here on the live show. On the
We're
video
gonna
show.
get heat for that.
Well, okay, and this is the other thing too, is because everybody thinks I'm the nice guy and Luke is the jerk, which is normally the case. But I was wanting to rail into this woman. Looks like somebody's already railed her. Hell, but anyway, he said he thinks she has Down syndrome or something, right? She may be special.
But look,
she may not.
these are the things that we have to contend with in the wrestling world today. And, I'd like to say that these things weren't around in the 90s or early thousands when you came in. But I'm sure they were there. It just wasn't so prevalent because there was no Facebook for people to write to please pray for me, I'm bleeding, period.
None of the stuff would have made none of the stuff would have made television.
Yes, I mean,
and so there was no way to really perpetrate this. If something was bad at a show, it would just go away.
But I got no beef with Wrestling Mama.
No, and I hope her. Have we checked on it?
I don't have the guts to. I was too busy throwing up. I was gonna.
Well, did you pray for her?
Oh yeah, I prayed big time.
Good. We'll see.
Well, I prayed when I was on the toilet and my rectum wasn't bleeding.
Lord, make my rectum like hers, or make her rectum like mine. Ooh, you got to watch how you word that.
Oh yeah, whoa!
Don't want the bleeding rectum. Well, anyway, for Fat Hardy and Wrestling Mama Holloway, good. It's like Lenny Kravitz is sitting.
That's what
there.
happens when you run a TV show. Hey guys.
But anyway,
put ourselves over.
Let's see another one.
Yeah. Oh, and Vito wants to call in.
He does?
Yeah. Vito.
He actually is, isn't he?
Yeah, Vito wants to call in. Yeah, he wants to do a little Cameo Jones. Pause it. We'll see if we can do something.
All right, here's Vito. Hold on a second. All right, we got the boss on. Vito, we're sorry we're late. Don't break our legs.
Well, you guys got to realize you're my favorite show. So if I don't get you guys on each week, I may as well shut this thing right on down.
Well, you're gonna have to listen to this week's when it goes up, man. We just kind of laid into Wrestling Mama. Yeah, we said Wrestling Mama.
You know what I like about you guys, man? I love when you guys go on these ridiculous weekends. These like that's why I quit wrestling. Like you guys are out there talking about it, and as I hear it, I'm like cringing. Like I want to punch every single one of them in the face. Hard.
This week, I swear, this week's episode, we have a Roddy Piper story. I swear to Jesus, you've never heard anywhere else.
It involves a toilet Sarlacc.
Yes, we'll just say it involves a toilet Sarlacc, and we've got.
Wait, hold on. Can you spell Sarlacc?
It's a thing. It's the pit monster from Star Wars. If that makes it.
That Boba Fett
fell into.
Yeah,
then,
sorry guys. I've never seen Star Wars. I know you can hate me if you'd like, but I've never seen
Yeah, well then you may the references and the humor may be lost on you, but other than that, Nightwalker promo, probably the worst promo we've ever seen, and one of the most original, which, like Luke astutely said, Nightwalker's an euphemism for a prostitute.
Nightwalker, so this Nightwalker character, has he been around since the early 90s and kept the name?
No.
Or he's a new guy and some old asshole gave him that name?
You've probably he gave himself the name. You've probably seen a match with him in it and don't realize it. He's the guy that did the horrible Meth Hardy Swanton match.
Great. He's the guy that actually like fucked it up?
Yeah, he's the one that, that whole match was just terrible. It was on the flea market. I put it up. It got like 3,000 views, but it was, yeah.
So what he did was he took everybody's advice, quit being Meth Hardy, and do something else. So he went right for the vampire / gothic / crow type gimmick.
But he still dresses in the Jeff Hardy shirt from TNAshop.com.
Yeah. Or the Hot Topic.
And when he walks through the curtain, does he do the Dean Malenko thing where he grabs his wrists?
Oh, I really don't want. I
Oh shit, I do that.
You do that. No, that's part of your acting chops.
I'm just kidding. That's my acting chops.
Hey, we never even announced it, Vito. You're going to be getting late breaking news from the world of Funkmaster V.
Breaking news.
Yeah, if you saw last week's episode or you listened to it on OneGimmickWorld.com, we put up my audition tape where I said, I got no beef with Carla. And let me just tell you, I won. So now I am going to be on Murder Comes to Town. I'm playing Victim's boyfriend. Yeah.
He ain't got no beef with Carla.
What do you mean? Well, that's tremendous news.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do acting. Last thing I did, I was Phil Hartman's makeup artist on a show.
Oh. Did you know he was going to die at some point?
I kept poking the guy in the eyeball with the makeup thing because I have no idea how to apply makeup to anybody, including myself. So that was kind of funny. And they shot that for over an hour. So the guy probably had puffy red eyes.
Well, maybe at the end of this, we'll put your can we put your clip up from
Murder Comes to Town.
Your other Murder Comes to
Let you
Town.
always bust my balls because I rub my hands too much. Yeah, I will.
What else have you been in that I would know that face from?
Well, he was on 16 and Pregnant.
I was on 16 and Pregnant.
You can read his IMDb page.
Yeah, I'm on the Internet Movie Database. Snapped, Murder Comes to Town, Sins and Secrets, that type of stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love 16 and Pregnant when it turns into Teen Mom. It's like my favorite show.
Well, you would have seen him on 16 and Pregnant if you watched in the background as a band was setting up, and he was the bass player.
Yeah.
That was bent over.
No, I wouldn't been over all the way. It wasn't that kind of show. But I've got to head out of here. Do you want to talk to Vito any length of time?
I got to get going too, man. But Vito, boss, thanks for having us on One Gimmick World. This has been a great ride, man.
And
I love you guys, man. We're going to keep doing this, okay?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Thanks, Vito.
You guys, thanks for having me on.
I love you, brother.
Good.
Take care, my
Bye,
friend. Bye-bye.
Realizing who owns it gives them great cause for concern. Bill Hampton's a local troublemaker with connections to South Bend's drug underground.
What do you want?
We're looking for Tim.
Tim's not here, and you boys ain't coming in without a warrant.
I said, I don't care what else I see in the house. If there's drugs, fine, I don't care. We're working on Tim's case right now.
The message to Hampton is perfectly clear. No isn't an option. Could Tim somehow be connected to Bill's unsavory dealings? Hampton claims Tim comes around when he needs car parts.